more than 170 IDF soldiers have fallen in the fighting in Gaza. According to the group Mothers of Combat Soldiers, the pressure that the United States is putting on the IDF to limit civilian casualties in Gaza is partly to blame. The group is made up of 7,000 mothers and other supporters of the soldiers, and the group's spokeswoman Mirit Hoffman joins me now. Thank you very much for being with us. So the IDF has gone to great lengths, hasn't it, to make it clear that it is not at war with the people, the civilians of Gaza, but with Hamas, the terrorists. It's not just US pressure, is it? This comes from inside the IDF.
First of all, if you just let me for a second, I want to first send our condolences to the families of the loved ones who've fallen, and a refuah shlema to all the injured and wounded. And the second thing I want to very importantly say that we fully support the IDF in their mission. We back them up in everything they do. The press does not give them nearly enough credit to the amazing work that they've been doing and to the bravery of our soldiers. And I'd like to take advantage of this platform, as I have been doing, to state our enormous gratitude and to thank them very much for all that they're doing. We're very proud of all their accomplishments, and we appreciate all their hard work. And it's due to them that we can sit here and have this conversation. And we're also supporting the government in its decision to eradicate Hamas. I mean, this is an important war for Israel. We fully back them up in this war. Regarding your question, I am very hesitant of answering that question because I think it's a political thing. What I can say is what our mission is, and our mission is to ensure that our soldiers' lives are prioritized over the enemy. We've seen a lot of things that are actually contrary to that, and to name a few, first of all, the whole thing with the humanitarian aid, the request to bring fuel into Gaza, which is, I don't even know if ridiculous is the right word here, because it's serving Hamas's ability to keep fighting. They can stay in their tunnels forever with this fuel. The rest of the humanitarian aid, they themselves are saying, I mean, last week there was I'm just quoting here, Musa Abu Morzak said that they are the ones that should be getting it, and the attempt by residents to take the aid will be fought with full force because the aid should be coming to them first. There's also the fact that we're seeing less of air support for our soldiers, which result in a lot more casualties. As we had seen at the beginning, there was a lot more Air Force. And again, we see it from the IDF is showing us that they want to shoot something, and then they're seeing human shields in front of terrorists, and they have to back off. And that's something that Hamas is using as a tactic, as it has been using since day one. The request to return of the civilians living in Gaza to the northern part of Gaza also is going to definitely endanger our soldiers, because Hamas embeds itself in civilians. They're going to dress up as civilians, and it's going to make it very difficult for our soldiers to be able to know who are civilians and who are the terrorists. I also like to state here that there are terrorists and they're terrorist supporters. And that is the majority of the people at the moment in Gaza. I mean, we have seen proof of soldiers going from door to door to door to door, and they see ammunition, and they see maps in bedrooms, in houses, inside cribs, underneath their tunnels, inside rooms, in hospitals, in mosques, in kindergartens. I mean, what else do we need to show in order to show you that most of the people living in Gaza are supporters of the terrorists, and therefore they should be treated just like the terrorists?
Well, you have got innocent civilians as well, of course, lots of children in Gaza who are not in any way
By the way, the children are also being pushed to help the terrorists. We've seen Soleimani using children as human shields every day, everywhere he walks.
But those children are children and are therefore also victims.
I'm not getting into.
I just want to ask you though: is this coming from the U.S.? Do you think this pressure on the IDF?
Definitely, yes. We definitely think that the U.S. is putting a lot of pressure, and we would like the U.S. To back us up in this war, because it's a war against pure evil, and they are backing us up, and everybody knows this is a war that we need to do, and we would like the U.S. to appreciate that, and also to appreciate the fact that just like any other country in the world, the soldiers of that country are prioritized over the enemy, and we would like the U.S. to back us up on that as well. I'd like to remind the U.S. that this is a war that I don't think the U.S. had ever had to deal with. We're talking about enemies which are on our front doorstep. The U.S., when they had to battle a war, we're talking about Pearl Harbor or 9/11, it wasn't something inside the U.S. And I think their administration would treat, if it had to deal with something like that, totally different in their expectations of what we have to deal with, and it's totally double standard. And if they're so worried, the civilians, as you claim, regarding the children, and I accept that, there are other ways to do that. I mean, at the moment, Gaza is a military zone, and it should be treated as a military zone. So if we're worried about them, and we should be worried about them, it shouldn't be something that the IDF should be worried about. It should be, just let me finish, it'd be something that the U.S. can do, for instance, put pressure on other countries like Egypt, like Jordan, like Qatar, open borders, and let those civilians move.
I'm sorry, we're out of time, Mirit Hoffman, but thank you very much.